My boyfriend and I have been together for 2 years. His family is very big on hosting and throwing celebrations, whereas my family tends to only do large holidays together, which will be mostly centered around food as opposed to gifts. In the past year or so, I've been invited to his sister's birthday, his sister's baby shower, his mom's birthday, his sister's kid's birthday, his sister's housewarming, his family's Christmas, and a couple other misc celebrations. Every time I bring a gift, it's to the point where I've been spending more money on gifts for his family than my own parents and siblings. However, I've never gotten a gift from his family. It's not really their fault, intentional, as we will tend to do our own celebration for my birthday, so there's not really been an opportunity for his family to give me gifts, other than Christmas. But the one-sided gift giving is starting to get to me. I've considered that maybe there isn't an expectation for me to bring a gift, but for most of these celebrations I'm invited to, it would be very odd not to bring one, e.g., baby shower, birthdays. I've considered doing joint gifts with my boyfriend, but his mom also pointedly asked one time, "Is that the one from my name?" Without me mentioning that I had even brought a gift, which made it seem like it was a given that I should have brought one. To be clear, I don't need any gifts from anyone in his family. I work a decently paying job despite being in a high cost of living city, and my boyfriend and I are both more financially comfortable for our age than his family. However, the sheer number of celebrations I'm being invited to with an unspoken obligation for gifts is starting to build up, especially because it feels a little like the relationship is one-sided, as I've never received anything in return. With Christmas coming up, I wonder if I should continue bringing gifts, or use this as an opportunity to work with my boyfriend and change our operating model. Or do I just bring something that's cheaper, like some baked goods, chocolates, relevant comments? You and your boyfriend should be giving joint gifts, paid for by him, or you should stop gifting unless there's a clear expectation of reciprocity. You're not married to this guy, and they're not your family. Commenter, most definitely start bringing some baked goods. Take on a baking hobby, but not too much time investment if you're not interested, or want to give them that much effort, or even going to the store's bakery section to get cookies and putting them on your own separate tray at home. If they ask why the sudden switch, you can tell them, baking from the heart is the best gift of all. Somebody said, that was my first thought. If that woman wants to ask who the gift is from, you can say, oh, boyfriend or whoever. And when she hints at you, shove the tray of delicious food into your hands and say, I brought this, go ahead and put it out for me. Kidding! Well, kidding on the last part. Just bring food. That is your contribution. If she ever tries to make you feel bad, sass you, you can always go to, okay, not this, but a variation of, I am so sorry. I thought gifts were taboo since no one ever brought any to my birthday. Oh, goodness. Did not realize we were still doing that for some people. I just wanted to bring something and thought this effort of taking time to make food was enough. Somebody said, you state that the one-sided gift giving with your boyfriend's family is starting to get to you, but how can that be when the one-sided aspect is not intentional and merely a consequence of the very nature of the events that you have been invited to? For example, someone else's birthday, someone else's baby shower, someone else's housewarming. Rather than focusing on the positives that you were invited, you are solely focused on the negatives. This is compounded by the fact that you have labeled the in-laws with negative motives and actions when you state that there is an unspoken obligation for gifts, and that your boyfriend's mother pointedly asked one time about a gift she attributed to you. First of all, unless that was the first event that you had ever been invited to, it is likely that your boyfriend's mother asked if that was the gift you were bringing, because you had well established a pattern of bringing gifts. Secondly, is your experience going to other people's baby showers, birthdays, and whatnot, that you do not bring gifts and somehow this makes your boyfriend's family wrong? You've got the following options not necessarily in order, and not necessarily mutually exclusive. Continue with doing individual gifts, but reduce the investment costs as you suggested. If the gift is thoughtful and takes time and effort, like a baked good, it will be appreciated. Again, do not worry about what others think. The old adage, it is the thought that counts, applies here. Change your attitude. Rather than being annoyed by being included, and annoyed that you are not receiving a gift at a baby shower or birthday or housewarming, when pretty much that is not the norm. Look at it like his family thinks enough of you to include you. In reality, they are not obligated to include you, and rather than being skeptical that they do it for the reason of a gift grab, give them the benefit of the doubt. Update. Some commenters suggested that I was not appreciative of being invited to family events, so I thought that maybe I was being too harsh. Well, with Christmas coming up, I was invited to Christmas with my boyfriend's family, but given his sister just had her second child with some health complications, we had a conversation and decided it made sense for me not to join them as I've been flying a lot for work and don't want to put the newborn at risk. That made the conversation about doing joint gifts super easy with my boyfriend, since I physically wouldn't be there. Out of the blue yesterday, though, I received a text from my boyfriend's sister reminding me of their house address to ship gifts to, even though I've driven there multiple times. Then, about an hour later, I receive a text from my boyfriend's mother telling me about how the sister's daughter, toddler, has been a little upset recently given the new baby, and that it would be great to get the toddler an extra gift to make her feel special since the attention has been on the newborn, on top of whatever I was planning to get the newborn. She did top it off with a, "You always give such nice gifts," as a nice compliment. For context, I grew up in a family that taught me not to buy gifts that you wouldn't want to receive. I bought very nice things for boyfriend's sister's kids for her daughter's birthday. Toys and nice name brand clothing like Nike, North Face, and the latest baby shower for the newborn. I brought this to the attention of my boyfriend, and he mentioned he'd let them know that he was bringing our gifts. But I have a feeling they'll misinterpret to think that we're still getting separate gifts. We will see how it goes next week, but I've been super put off by the text that I've gotten from his family. It seems pretty blatant that they want gifts from me and are expecting it, but I'm glad that my boyfriend is planning to take care of the communications. Relevant comments. Text back, "Oh yeah, thanks for the reminder. Here's mine." This is a boyfriend problem. Just that he's let this go on so long, but he doesn't need to be telling them he's bringing the gifts. What he needs to tell them is, "Here is original poster's wish list." Because I know you didn't just reach out to someone not coming to our celebration to ask for gifts when you had no plans for giving her a gift yet again. And yes, I've noticed you haven't once returned any of the great gifts she's given you when it's her turn to get gifts. So I'll be bringing gifts from us, and will happily bring her back your gifts to her. Commenter, who the hell takes gifts but doesn't give? To the point where they call you for the gift. Also, people saying being invited is the gift are takers. They don't give gifts. So don't listen to their advice. What kind of cheap-ass family are you dealing with? You sure you want to be married into this type of family? Update, did not expect this to have so many comments. I read through a bunch of the comments and took some inspiration from here in what I ended up doing. I'll make a longer comment, post tomorrow when I have time, as I'm still with family for XMAs. But the quick update is that I did not spend any money on gifts for his family this Christmas. But I helped boyfriend pick some out that he bought. My boyfriend took care of most of the communication, so I just texted back some pleasant, "Thank you, I'll remind boyfriend name. Happy holidays" to his family. Some minor drama unfolded, and I'll detail tomorrow. But overall, I'm happy with the way boyfriend resolved it. To answer some of the other questions, no, I did not get Christmas gifts last year either from his fam. The excuse was that we did a late celebration on the 27th last year with his fam, and so that is why they didn't give me anything, though I still brought gifts. Boyfriend didn't intervene earlier because he didn't know that they had texted me directly, and honestly, he's just kind of oblivious and didn't realize how many celebrations, Chanya events we'd gone to, as it's been a hectic year for both of us with work. Yes, we have a pretty high income disparity between me and boyfriend and his family. His parents have some debt and are tight on money, and his sister's husband is paying off a mortgage with expenses for 2 children, especially since his sister was laid off for most of the year and then was pregnant, had a kid. He probably makes what his sister plus sister-in-law made before she was laid off combined, and I make a good amount more than his sister-in-law too. I honestly don't need gifts from them, but it would be nice to have some reciprocation in some other way, even a thank you card or something. Somebody said, if their money is tight and they can't afford gifts, how can they afford to host all these grand parties? Do they give your boyfriend gifts? Original poster replied, credit cards. Hence the debt. Yes, they get him gifts. Nothing super expensive, but still gifts here and there. Edit. Honestly, the celebrations are also a way for them to get gifts, save on certain costs. Baby shower registries, etc. New update. Now that the holidays are finally over, and I realize that people are actually waiting for a conclusion the UX to best of Redditor updates, I thought I'd come here to post an update. Some new happenings unfolded through the new year that I had to deal with, hence the delay. Pre-Christmas. I texted back to his family what I had written in the previous comment, and the boyfriend called his mom and sister, which I didn't hear the full conversation of. The message he conveyed was that we would be bringing a joint gift and listed out all the gifts I had given them this year, and pointed out that they neither wished me a happy birthday or got me a gift for Christmas last year. Apparently, he was nice about it and said that he knew money was tight for them, and that we'd be doing joint gifts moving forward so they wouldn't have to worry about a return gift. This is a very fine arrangement with me. He hates shopping anyways, so he gave me a budget for each of his family members and I chose the gifts for him. He didn't mention to his family I hadn't pitched in any money. Christmas. I had a lovely Christmas with my family, but my boyfriend called me at noon. He tells me to ignore any texts I might get from his family and that he will explain when we are together. I don't get anything from them until the evening. A text from his mom that just says, "Boyfriend name will bring back presents from us to you. It would be great if you could come celebrate NYE with us as the baby is in stable condition, and we will celebrate the baby's recovery." No need to bring anything for us, just the baby. I forwarded the message to boyfriend. Apparently his family had bought me literal dollar store gifts in an attempt for us to keep doing separate gifts that he was refusing to bring back to me. They wanted to do another celebration on NYE for more gifts for the baby. Boyfriend told me he had already told them we weren't going. It overall was just minor drama because I never had to talk to anyone from his family. He handled it all. He told them that if they were going to treat me like that, we would no longer be joining their celebrations. Day after Christmas. My boyfriend came over to visit my family for Christmas. My parents still got him a gift. He immediately felt really bad, and we spent most of the day together with my family and planning a New Year's Eve date night between the two of us. It was exciting. I thought that was the end of it. Before New Year's, boyfriend's mom calls him while he's at my place and basically starts breaking down. She says that boyfriend and I make more than his family, mom, dad, sister, brother-in-law, combined, and apparently the debt of his parents and sister are much larger sums than he had assumed. Apparently they really appreciated my gifts because it felt like a little bit of luxury in what felt like a life of despair given their snowballing debt. They had too much pride to say anything and basically ended up bullying me about it. Boyfriend's words, instead to get things they wanted. Apparently he texted his mom about the gift my parents got him, and it made her feel like she was going to lose him to me, my family, because of money. Boyfriend told her that it wasn't about money. It was about treating people with basic decency. They talked a lot more, but the summary is that his family has been under a lot of financial stress and pressure, much more than we had thought, and was a bit spiteful of how much money we earn and wants help. I reflected on all the comments saying I was being a doormat, and I think my stance on this is that I knew I didn't need gifts from them. I just wanted a little more appreciation, so I was in a little bit of a pickle about what to do. Because I genuinely enjoyed gifting and picking out gifts, but also felt like I was being used. I just wanted them to appreciate the gifts. Maybe that's petty. Saw a comment saying you should never expect anything in return when gifting. To those saying boyfriend is a problem, I think this might be a relatively new thing with his family that he's just now recognizing. Debt accumulation is recent, past 2 years after his sister had her first kid. He handled it gracefully as it unraveled. We spent New Year's Eve and New Year with just the two of us. It was lovely. We don't have a resolution on how we will deal with his family yet. He holds strong boundaries and won't be giving them any money, but will continue to bring gifts to celebrations his family hosts, if he's still invited, LOL. Some comments somebody said, "The absolute cheek on these folkers to text her directly about getting them Christmas gifts." "Unreal," somebody replied. He didn't intervene because he didn't know they texted me directly. Girl, this here is a you communication problem with your boyfriend. Why can she not be honest to her partner that she feels taken advantage of and tell them she's been directly contacted for gifts? And he doesn't stand up for her because it's too oblivious. No. Original poster needs to raise her standards. The bar is too low, like the bottom of the rubbish bin. A commenter, husband and I have been together for 14 years, including dating, and we are now in our mid-30s. We have always done the I buy for my family and put your name, you buy for yours and put my name. I do have to add, though, neither of our moms or siblings would be like, don't forget our gift. And it's not an original poster to buy the toddler a gift to make them not feel left out. That's up to the parents and grandparents. Unless the original poster wants to do that. The toddler's grandma telling someone who isn't technically related to the toddler to get her something special is ridiculous. A commenter. Those text messages reminding original poster to bring gifts would have steamed my broccoli so bad. Imagine being so selfish. They like the gifts she gives but wants nothing to do with her. Somebody said, imagine being such an amazing gift giver that an entire selfish and rudeable family made damn sure your name is at the tippy top of the guest list for every single event they've had in the last 2 years. Maybe it's just me being cynical, but I wonder if there are suddenly so many events solely because of original posters' gifts. I mean, the sister has a baby shower for her second kid, although the first one just turned 2, and has a housewarming party, a birthday party for herself, one for her kid, as well as a baby shower, many of which occurred while she was pregnant. I would be curious to know from the boyfriend whether or not his family normally throws events like this. Is the frequency just due to milestones happening close together? Or does it seem off to him? Guys are so damn ignorant when it comes to the etiquette around women's events and even gift giving in general. I wouldn't be surprised if he just hadn't given this any thought before because he has, well, never needed to. The bar is in hell's basement when it comes to attending events and the appropriate gift giving that subsequently ensues, but only if you're a dude. All of us women know that 99.9% of the time, we will be held to a completely unique set of rules and standards than dudes. Just as we also know that there's a pretty massive chance that the men in our lives will 1. Honestly not know what we're talking about when we point it out. 2. Will argue with us because how could it be that big of a disparity, but they somehow didn't realize it before they were this many years old? And 3. Try telling us we're making this a much bigger issue than it actually is. And no one, especially their moms, sisters, aunts, female family members, especially elders, cares as much as we think they do. You're so right, Dave. It is all in my head. I just love overthinking gift, giving outdated yet still widely held onto views of women's duties, and performing insane mental gymnastics to try and tie it together with how your family perceives, respects, feels about me for no good reason.